Oh, looks like I might be live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I guess let's see what's going on. I'm only going live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn because I want to see. It seems like when I go live on everything, the views and the numbers are down way low on YouTube. So I want to see what happens. We're going to be going over Ardana, and it looks like Ardana just rug pulled, which I think is the first Cardano-based project to get rug pulled. Excuse me. And we're just going to chill and we're going to hang out and we're going to dive into this a little bit. I'm probably going to enjoy it. I have a cold. I've been sick. I've been not feeling well, and wasn't even planning on going live at all tonight. But I saw this pop up, and I was busy working on research for another video. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh, what is this? And then I started looking into it a little bit, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, WTF is going on with this project? And so and I saw a couple things. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How did this dude pull this off? So yeah, we're gonna dive into it a little bit, and we're just gonna chill. We're gonna hang out. I'm gonna put in a dip, and then we're gonna get to work. But if you look at Ardana right now, it's sitting at 2 cents, down 63% today. People just mass exited. Volume at 105,000, up 93.67%. Um, Flicktoe was Adolf's first rug pull. Okay. Um, I got some tequila that will cure that cold, my dude. Yeah, I wish I need some. It's last night I got hardly any sleep at all. I was really struggling, and it was pretty bad. So let's take a look real quick. Let's look at what's going on. This is Ardana chart. This is pretty bad. I mean, well, it's only 6 cents from here, but boom, all the way down to 2 cents, 2.5 cents. And yeah, so here's a note, Dana, for anyone who reads, this was November 3rd. So this is 20 days ago. For anyone who reads, this coin is dumping because they said they were going to release their stable coin Q3 or 4 2023 instead of now, which was the original estimation. And I saw this. Well, I saw that. So okay, let's just go to my Twitter real quick. And so yeah, I posted this. So yeah, first big rug from a team that either bit off more than they could chew, regardless of capital, or they just felt it easier to make a dash with the cash. This is why I don't bother with early projects anymore. And so this is from Ardana's Twitter account today. Hello, Ardana community. Unfortunately, due to recent developments with regards to funding and project timeline uncertainty, the Ardana project has come to a halt. Our code will remain open source for builders to continue our work going forward as they wish. What is the problem with funding, though, is what I would ask, because I saw this. Um, Major DeFi investors piled into the Ardana project, including some that have never invested in Cardano before. Well, isn't this a pleasant opening to that experience? Cardano's decentralized finance ecosystem may be showing glimmers of primordial life following the close of a $10 million raise for Ardana, a new protocol that aims to provide stablecoin minting and exchange services. The round was led by Three Arrows Capital. Oh, okay. And they recently went under, didn't they? So were they paying this in installments to Ardana? Uh, I'm not quite sure. And this is one of the reasons I'm doing this live right now, because I don't know anything about Ardana. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it's very simple, but I haven't been paying much attention to a lot of these newbie projects on Cardano, quite frankly. And I'm fine with that. So, okay, the round was led by Three Arrows Capital. Cardano's C fund and Ascensive Assets, with participation from Morningstar Ventures and Mechanism Capital. So basically, a bunch of VC groups, I guess. And Ryan Matovu. All right. So Ryan Matovu. And I'm thinking, okay, who's Ryan Matovu? So I started looking him up. Sorry, like I said, I'm sick. It's one of the reasons why I almost didn't go live. Uh, but so I scrolled down here and I know somebody posted, oh wow, I am so effing glad I sold my Dana bag at 68 back in July. Yeah. So staying away from everyone on this team. Yeah, I'm gonna like that. I mean, this is all unfolding right now. So somebody posted something. When in doubt, go look for code and code activity. Let's start here. I did feel sorry for Pete after much warning from Bitcoin. So anyway, so somebody was posting how this Ryan Matovu guy was basically a serial scammer. And so I looked him up and I'm like, okay, so who is this guy? Yes, this is my LinkedIn. It looks like it's crazy because I don't even know how many connections. I don't even use LinkedIn much anymore, but I have constant influx of messages. There's 121 messages on here I haven't seen, endless notifications, endless messaging, endless network attempts from people trying to connect with me. I just don't use it. I think it's like 7 or 8,000 or something. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, don't worry about that. I don't use LinkedIn much. But so I see this. He doesn't use a picture. He's obviously, Orbis Labs, University of Warwick, building on Cardano blockchain technologies, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. So he's a developer. And because I'm thinking, like, who is this guy that got like $10 million in capital? And I'm thinking, all right, let's see what he does. So Orbis Labs full time started a year and 2 months ago. All right. And then Ardana full time 2 years, 1 month ago, building a decentralized stablecoin and stablecoin DEX on the Cardano blockchain. What did he do before that? SEO intern. And I'm seeing that and I'm like, wait a minute, is this real? What is this? He's an SEO London intern. And I'm like, okay, so what the hell is SEO London? Because if it's what I think it is, if the guy's an intern, what the hell is he doing? Getting $10 million for some. And I'm thinking, is this search engine optimization? Okay, sponsors educational opportunity. Is that what this is? I've never heard of this. So when I initially saw it, I'm like, he was an intern for a search engine optimization company? What does that have to do with development at all? And I'm like, wow, that really makes sense that this guy's like serial rug pulling because he's getting all this capital off of ideas and then he's just running with the cash. But for whatever reason, nobody's learned. At school, we help high achieving students in years 11 through 13 broaden their horizons through access to academic, professional, and enrichment opportunities. Okay, so this is a school. This isn't an SEO company. So, all right, but like, what do you do as an internship there for 2 years? So it sounds, regardless, he was a student, and then went directly from being a student to Orbis Labs in Ardana. Education, mechanical engineering. That's not development at all. It's mechanical engineering. Uh, what does this have to do with development? His interests are Lex Friedman. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of dumbfounding to me. And like looking him up on the interwebs, he's basically the founder of this, and I haven't even dove into some of the stuff that this other gentleman was talking about. That somebody posted this FUD destroyer. Um, looks like, when did he post this? Okay, so this was November 4th. Oh wow. This guy posted this November 4th of 2021. Ardana project at Ryan Matovu. This guy is a shitcoin scammer. First YFD, YFDFI finance, YFD second was PL. He's got all this stuff. Third is Dana at Ardana project, serial scammer, and you are all walking right into it again. 3 shite projects hyped up and launched. Bet Dana dead in 3 months. Well, it took him a year, but how about that? That's actually pretty nuts. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. And you know, some people might think, oh, Crow, you know, why don't you do these review videos anymore? Why don't you talk about this project and talk about that project? And I am going to. I'm going to start, and I'm going to start trying to, you know, the thing of it is for me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to have this because I can't talk with it. What I'm going to do is, well, so some of you guys remember when I was offered like $1 million for a project, ambassadorship, and it was a big deal. Granted, it was $1 million in their tokens, but I actually got a lawyer. To vet this group, to vet this team, because I'm thinking if they're offering me $1 million worth of tokens to become an ambassador and start working with them, I wanted to know everything there is to know, right? And so I got a lawyer, and I said, hey, here's the situation, man. I'm like, I'd love to take it, but I'm not taking it if it's a shit show. And he's like, good call. So lo and behold, he basically, it all boiled down to him telling me, I haven't even looked up the project to see where it's gone or if it's done anything. I haven't heard about it since. But in a nutshell, the team was just shady. I mean, he was finding all kinds of stuff. I guess one person on the team had like a rent to own business for exotic pets or like expensive animals. And it's basically like if you couldn't afford this pet, you could do it like a rent to own couch. And if you missed payments, they would repo the animal and they would just steal it back, which to me sounded really terrible. And I was just like, no, I'm not with it. I wasn't with it. I'm going to leave this up and I'm going to zoom this so people know, because it says it in the title, but um, yeah, Ardana, it looks like they did. I don't know for sure, but it's obvious that they're having some pretty serious issues. Volume is skyrocketing as people are dumping their tokens, and it's dropped. I mean, it's literally dropping as we speak. So we can just sit here and watch this token take a bath. And you know, Orbis and Ardana, yeah, there's team overlap. I'm learning that. And I, you know, here's the thing, guys. I know that everybody wants to jump on everything. Like I know that I have a big Cardano community, and that's great. But when it comes to all these different applications, here's the thing you guys have to understand. It's obvious that Cardano has a huge cult-like community. All right. I'm part to blame to that, I guess. I've been talking about Cardano for 5 years, and these projects are all high risk, potentially high reward, but all very high risk. Greed runs the crypto space right now, plain and simple. Greed, corruption, control. That is what ultimately is running the cryptocurrency space, and everybody associated with the crypto space right now. Everyone can say they're all about the tech, right? I'm all about the tech. I love what Cardano's doing. Yeah, cool. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's 12:02 a.m. We are at midnight, late night live. But let's face it, it's the technology and the getting in on the ground floor of some new technology. That's what's exciting. And the ground floor being, being able to get into projects for pennies on the dollar in hopes that they become worth a dollar. That's part of the excitement. Let's not kid ourselves. So man, it's really hard to do this stuff when you're sick and you got tickles in your throat. Because I hate drinking on camera. It's just water, my Propel. But man, so in a nutshell, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't invest in a lot of this crap anymore. I have learned that, if you want a good layer one or you're in a good layer one, that's still risky, but it's far less risky than every project on that layer one, because they're building on the backbone of something, right? They're building on a framework that's proving itself. And for me, a lot of people, what do you think about this project and that project, assuming that I even give a shit about 90% of these projects that launch and they get this kind of public funding or that public funding. To me, it's not worth the risk. And yeah, I could throw $1,000 at every one of these and hope that some of them just go to the moon, but the majority of them are going to fall short. They're going to crumble. And why would I do that? I mean, to me, that's greedy to an extent, and I'm not about greed. And, the thing of it is I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, a part of me wishes I was a little more greedy, because if I was, my YouTube channel would probably be at 500,000 subscribers right now. I do well enough, and I have other things that I'm trying to accomplish, other things that I've been trying to do, so blocks and this game that I have in development, and I have other projects, and I'm not trying to take over the world with wealth. I don't need to make $50 million, and I don't need all that stuff. So I'm not constantly chasing that next dollar, that next game. This isn't or gain. That's not what this is really about for me. I mean, it was exciting early on in 2017, and my life has changed dramatically, and I have much more power, and I have much more opportunity ever before. But to I don't want to feed the trolls, so to speak. And I don't really want to be a proponent of that either. And the thing of it is that a lot of people think that, well, if it's being built on Cardano, it's probably really good. No, that's not true, because a lot of these profiteers, these opportunists, they look at the Cardano community as a cash cow, and we're so eager to see new developments take place on Cardano, to like send our layer one to the moon, that we want to fund these projects. We want to be a part of them. We want to be a part of the ones that work, and we want to believe that all of these are pure and good and solid projects. They're not. It's no different than projects on Ethereum or anything else. Charles doesn't go through and vet everybody that wants to develop on the Cardano blockchain. It's a decentralized blockchain. There's no policing. Any crook with a team and some capital can launch something and show some GitHub commits and this and that and ask for millions of dollars and then go run off to the Bahamas. It's just how things are. And so when I do start doing more deep dives, I mean, I am going to be looking at everything as crap until something catches my eye and proves me different, or proves itself. That's just where I'm at with a lot of these projects anymore. And regulation is going to start coming through, man. And there are a lot of things that are going to start happening. But let's take a look at some of the chat going on and not get too carried away with rambling. I am working on a big video though, because I have a theory and I'm working on proving it, and it relates to the logarithmic growth of Bitcoin since inception, as well as the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Great Reset. And it's not a big, crazy conspiracy video or anything. It's not talking crazy, but I want to put this bug in your head. When you think of the Great Reset, what exactly do you think is getting reset and why? And I have a theory. And so that's what I was actually working on tonight for tomorrow, or if it at least sometime this week. So yeah, if you're interested in that video, let me know in the comments below. What's up? What's up, Anthony? Good looking feller in there. Good looking feller. Never made it this early. What? Oh, well, it is rug pull season. Isn't that funny how it works? How the bear market is typically rug pull season. Remember 2018? Yes, I remember. Oh, that's right. Got some tequila for my cold. Late live. Yes, indeed. What do you guys think of me doing call-ins? Call-in questions, like with your phone, where you call in, you're live on the stream with me. You ask your questions, I answer them live. What do you think of that? Or you guys would just prefer just sticking with the chat? I've always kind of wanted to do that. I've always wanted to have like a late night talk show with call-in guests. And then like different authors, researchers, kind of like a coast to coast AM. I've always wanted to do something like a coast to coast. I just don't know how to find the guest. That's my big thing, because I love listening to those people. Some of them are wackadoos, some of them are brilliant, some of them are, I mean, it's just you never know what you're going to get. And I'm always told I have a late night voice, so I thought, well, maybe I can do a late night talk show sometime. But yeah, if I had a bunch of guests lined up, I would do that in a heartbeat. I just really don't know where to get them. I need an assistant. I legitimately need an assistant to help me lock down guests. If any of you are interested out there and you're serious, let me know. Happy late birthday, Crow. I need SoBlock support email address. Well, thank you for the birthday wishes. I thought it was right on SoBlocks.com, and we do have the Telegram, and we have the Discord. So, and I'm pretty sure we have a support ticket system. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to talk to Jason about that, but I know he did. Do you guys even care that Nancy Kerrigan is Nancy Pelosi? That's pretty funny. Nancy Kerrigan was way too beautiful to be anything close to Nancy Pelosi. Good old rug. Ardana was clearly not good. Any amount of research and common sense would tell you. Yeah, and for me, it's like, I used to look at guys like CoffeeZilla who used to do all these videos, just like calling everybody a scam and this and that. And I'm like, man, I totally get it. And I tell you, man, that dude has come a long way. I mean, he went from basically just like everybody and everything's a scam and just being kind of flagrant about it to like becoming like a true just a badass, man. I mean, I watch his stuff all the time now because I'm always curious, like, who's he picking apart now? And I'm like, I get it, because I've never been one to do videos like this where I'm like, oh, look at this scammer. Look, everybody, look at this guy. Look at what he's doing. I've never been like that. But man, when it comes to Cardano, I don't know. In a way, I feel like this guy I don't know what a good analogy is, but he kind of violated my blockchain a little bit. You know what I mean? Or a lot of bit, really. So I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing. As soon as I saw, I'm like, what? Somebody's scamming on Cardano? Oh, we're gonna make sure that people see this and hear this. As a matter of fact, let's put this dude's picture up. Man, you know, I, I mean, he looks like a blockchain developer. I'm kidding. But yeah, man, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but apparently this isn't his first. And I mean, the dude should be sitting pretty at this point with all the money. So yeah, let's zoom in on all this a little bit so people can kind of see what's the haps. And this D5 Zoo Racer, man, I mean, give him some credit, because he posted this a year ago trying to warn everybody, and apparently not many people listened. First live I catch with you. Too bad it's for bad news, but glad to be here. Hope you feel better soon. Me too. Thank you, Crypto AI. I'm glad to have you. 190 people, 196. We might break 200 people live in chat tonight. I miss the days of having 2,000 people live, but you know what? I love each and every one of you for being here. And it's late, it's midnight. And this is something I haven't done in what, 2 years? Gone live this late at night. Maybe that's something I need to do more. What is your gender, Betty Sue? Where were you planning on letting me out of your dungeon? What's happening? What is happening in chat? Um, it sounds like they are saying they were struggling developing with Haskell. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are Haskell developers, and with $10 million, I'm pretty sure you can find plenty. Red Cape Films, what's up? Say hi from Canada, eh? What's up? What's up? What's up? Snuff. No, that's not snuff. Snuff, you actually snort in your nose, and it's like it burns your whole brain. I tried it once as a kid. Somebody I knew, some old dude had it. I don't do snuff. How about ADAX and Card Starter? Are they dead already? I don't know. I don't know. You know, here's the thing. When I think of Cardano, and when I first read the white paper, do you want to know the honest to God truth behind what got me so excited about Cardano? It's late. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you right here. You guys will be the only ones to know this. This is absolute truth. As I was reading through, uh, you know what? I need to know you're even interested first. I need to see a number 5 in that chat. I need to see a bunch of 5s in that chat. I need to know you even care, because if you don't care, I'm not gonna go into it. And until I look, I see Overcome. What's up? $2 tip. Thank you. Think my dream of buying 800 is shattered? No. I think I'm negative 1,500 bucks on my short, and I don't really care. We might even go up 18. I don't know. We're at 16,655 right now. I think this is a fake out. And this is a part of what I'm going to be getting into in my video. I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow. I'm basically staying up super late tonight because I want to make myself so exhausted that I have no choice other than to just basically fall into bed and pass right the hell out, because my cold is so bad that I'm not going to sleep if I'm constantly dealing with a scratchy throat. But yeah, I think this is a fake out. And I'm going to get into a lot of this tomorrow, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on on a global level as it relates to this whole great reset thing. And that's what I think is going on. So yeah, I think we're going to see an $800 Ethereum for sure. Um, you're welcome for the tag. All right. Well, thank you. Great research. Man, you're welcome, but I haven't done any research on this. I just pulled up some stuff that I found pretty quickly. I hope Cornucopias isn't going to be a rug pull. I highly, highly, highly doubt it's going to rug pull people. I talk to the developers often. I'm always chatting with them. I have videos, Zoom chats with them all the time. These guys are passionate. These guys want to create this world. And yeah, these guys do not strike me at all as any kind of scammy, shady type dudes. They really don't. Yeah, there you go. Cornucopias is legit people with passion. They are. They really love what they're doing. Corn has a working product and a lot more to come. Might have put their money on FTX. Maybe they did. I don't know. Is it contagion, or is it just a rug? I would think that might be more possible if there weren't a bunch of other projects associated with this guy. And in basically a matter of a few years, if this guy is only sucking up capital from people and not delivering anything over and over again, I'd say it's time for this dude to just stay the hell out of blockchain and definitely stay the hell away from Cardano. 3AC invested. Yeah, I know. I touched on that. I touched on that article here. And they went, this whole interview and article is about Three Arrows Capital backing them. It's silliness. Caught you live, brother. I hope you're well. Let me scroll down a little bit. Oh, so far I don't see anybody that cares, so I'm not even gonna get into it. Oh wow, it just updated. Hold on. Fives, a couple fives, but not really many. Not really many. You know why I said that? Because I wanted to see if everybody's paying attention, and it only looks like a few people are paying attention. Um, all right, well, I guess I'll tell you anyway, even though you guys aren't paying any attention. Um, so, all right, so I'll tell you, when I was reading through the white paper, okay, it's 12 o'clock, it's story time. Um, Hold on, let me hide the current comment, and I'll just go full screen on this. I'm just slouching down in my chair. I'm gonna get the microphone real close, get you guys ready for story time. So I have been researching New World Order tinfoil hat stuff for 20 years minimum, maybe more. I have read countless books on the topic. I mean, I've read so many books, I don't even remember any of them anymore. Some of them probably still on my bookshelf, like the fourth turning, it's something like that. I mean, I've read everything you could think of. If it has to do with secret societies, government, the New World Order, I mean, I remember when George Bush Sr. was like, New World Order, and we'll be successful, and we will. And I mean, that whole speech, I remember all of that stuff, and I'm like, yes, you will, I'm sure. And I've been researching this stuff forever and a day. And what spawned that is because I met a guy in a bar once that I used to bounce at, and he had this little book, and he wouldn't show it to me, but I remember it just said entered apprentice or EA or whatever it was. Well, it turned out to be the book. It was a workbook for him. He was becoming a Freemason. And we ended up in a 4-hour conversation back and forth. And this guy swore up and down I was a Freemason, that I was putting that bar to like test him and all kinds of stuff, because the way I believed, my thoughts, and the way I thought about everything, and the way I looked at the world and everything else, that it was like every Freemason he had ever known. And I was some like, there, we're back. So, and I said, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about Freemasons. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. And he's like, well, by the fourth hour of us going back and forth and him just believing I was messing with him, he was like, man, if you're really not a Mason, I suggest you go start doing some research. He's like, there's a lot of crazy stuff about it all over the internet. Some of it's true, some of it's not, blah, 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 blah. But you should go do your research. So I researched this stuff for 3 years. And then I finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to get in with this group, and I'm going to see what's going on. I want to see, what do I learn? What do I learn about the world? What do I learn about the ancient mysteries and all kinds of stuff? Because I've always had that mindset. So anyway, make a long story short, I didn't just end there. I've researched ever since. I've read everything I could. I have books on so much crazy stuff. And there's a lot of crazy stuff to it, but I've always believed that there will in fact be a form of new world order. And with that, I've voiced some of these opinions in the past. Even recently on Crypto Keeper's channel, I got a little tipsy and just kind of let a lot of it go. And I just there's two parts of this. There's two sides to this for me. One is, if everyone in the world were to start working together as one unit, sharing resources, um, a global economic system, a global, like, who's to say that a global economic system is a bad thing, right? A lot of people, they want to be individuals. Everybody wants to be special. Our country's better than that country. Why would we want to be on the same level as, this poor country, when we're so much better off and we've got freedom and we've got this and we've got that, right? And I've been thinking to myself, why if we are looking to advance beyond Earth, well, we're not going to be able to do that as a divided system of nations. We're just not. We're not going to be able to basically push mankind further just being stuck here on this planet. There's so much we don't know, right? And so there's always been that side of me that said, maybe a new world order is what we need. Maybe that, you know, Maybe it is. And then the other side is, well, even if that is something that we could benefit from globally for all of mankind, the question is, who would be responsible for bringing this so-called new world order to us, to the world? How would that be enacted? Um, you know, and that's the problem, because the problem is absolute power corrupts absolutely. So anyone in positions of power and wealth sufficient enough to institute that sort of change on a global scale likely is corrupt to the core. So what would their motives be? And so the long and short of it is I've been constantly searching for those answers. How is this coming about? How are we seeing all of these changes come about over time? What am I noticing? What am I seeing? And when I first discovered Cardano and I started reading its white paper, and then I started reading some of the other papers, uh, we went black screening. I have just believed deep down that, and even more so lately, but I've always believed that a global economy would need to run on something similar to what I believe Cardano is being built for. And I don't just mean on a financial level. I mean on a governance level. One of the big things that took me is Voltaire on Cardano, and how it's basically looking to establish a blockchain based voting system that ultimately would be usable on a global level, on a global scale. You've got the blockchain technology for remittance and payments and things like that. You've got smart contracts. When Hydra launches, this is one of the reasons why I've always been a really big proponent of, like, oh, when Hydra launches, it's going to change the world, because Hydra is going to basically open up Cardano's facilities, if you will, to expand its reach and throughput on a global level with, like, beyond anything we've seen to date, like, centralized or not. I mean, it's going to make Visa transactions look like, a grandma on a walker. And when you mix that kind of technology and throughput along with interoperability, which I throw around a lot, and you have potentially global voting mechanisms on the blockchain, and just all of the use case associated with having an infrastructure like that, to me it just screamed, this is going to be a system by which global reform will come. And, some of you guys may think, oh, New World Order, Crow, you've lost your mind, you're with the elitists. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not at all what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that drastic changes are coming. They're already happening right before your very eyes. We have half of the country completely blind to it because they're programmed to not even see it. You have the other half of the country that's kind of on the polar opposite end of that. And what they're not seeing, and I've always used this analogy of somebody staring at the lock on a door, and all they see is a lock on a door, and they don't realize whether or not they're the ones locked in or locked out, right? And I kind of feel that that's what we're seeing a lot of today. We don't know which half of the country is locked in and which of the half of the country is locked out. And I'm seeing a lot of these changes happening, and I'm thinking it all makes sense. When I look at the news, when I look at articles, and I see the narratives that are being projected all over the place, to me, I swear I feel like Neo. And if you look at it in terms of the Matrix, which this does sound crazy, but what was one of the things in the Matrix? It was like, if you can see past all the noise and see things as they actually are, you can do anything. I truly believe that I see through all the noise. Everything connects to me because I've spent so many years preparing and getting an understanding as to what things are, what things mean. I feel like I read an article about a particular subject and I know exactly what the motive for that is. It doesn't even have to say it, but I know why it exists and I know why it was written the way it was written. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, whether it's a right or left thing. It doesn't really matter. 90% of what we read on either side is bullshit to some extent. It's a narrative driven by keeping people separate, not enabling us to communicate things, because it's through that division that I believe that a lot of the empowerment is established to push things further. And a lot of people don't see that. They just don't think that way. A good friend of mine, well, I don't know if I say a good friend of mine, but I like the guy. He's super. He says he's not, but he's super liberal. I mean, he's a Trump hater to the core. And he thinks that basically everything he sees on CNN is gospel. Let's just put it that way. And I'm like, man, just don't see anything. Like you believe what you're told to believe, and you don't. And as brilliant as you are, as smart as you are, I'm constantly trying to show him beyond the veil. He doesn't want to see it. And the thing is there are so many people like that. They don't really have the ability to think through things, whether that's a lifetime of indoctrination. I don't really get it. I don't know. I'm a high school dropout. I'm just some idiot, right? I'm somebody that's been doing my own personal reading and research my entire life. So I haven't subscribed to any. I'm not a proponent of either political party. I am not a righty or a lefty. I'm not a woke or a joke or whatever. I'm not any of that stuff. But a part of me believes that when it comes to the blockchain, when it comes to all of these layer ones, there really is only one blockchain that I think is going to truly be able to facilitate the growth on a global level, for all things finance, for all things voting, you name it. I think Cardano's going to have an answer to that. And that's one of the reasons why I adopted it so strongly back in 2017, because it just lined up. Even though the technical papers, even though a lot of the stuff doesn't scream this, it doesn't say this or that or another thing. What it did say to me is they were building a framework by which the entire globe will be able to grow and institute resources for people that don't normally have them, and ultimately bring everyone together on one blockchain through layer twos and all sorts of other things associated with that layer one, obviously. But I think that Cardano, in my heart, I truly believe, for better or worse, Cardano is going to be the blockchain that rules them all. I really, really do believe that. And in the midst of that, we're going to have a lot of projects that will come and go. There are going to be a lot of scammers building projects on Cardano meant for no other reason than to suck up the money you have in your pocket on a hope and a pipe dream. There's going to be a lot of that. And the bigger Cardano gets, the more of these types of people we're going to have building projects on Cardano. And I believe, to me, I am kind of taking it a part of my own responsibility to try and sniff some of these out. And I've never been one for like negative content. I'm not one to slang. I mean, there are people I don't like all over YouTube. There are people that I don't agree with, people that I just, whatever. I don't feel it's my responsibility to slam these people or try to tell the world they suck. They don't have to like me. That's fine. Don't like me. I'm not for everybody. Sometimes just my very nature will melt a snowflake, and that's okay. You don't have to like me. But I also don't think that it's my job to run around and tell the world, well, this person doesn't like me and I don't like them. I don't really give a shit. That's just how I roll. And I do think, though, that given the circumstances and given some of the drastic changes that we're seeing in the finance space, the global economy, there's a reason why, when people are like, oh, Biden, what are you doing about all this inflation? Inflation's so bad. And he goes, the whole world is suffering inflation. Yeah, they are. And there's a reason for that. Because a lot of these countries that you're seeing a lot of the same stuff happening to, they have leadership that are subscribed to the Well, the plans of those who meet on a regular basis in Davos and Klaus Schwab's group and all of those guys, they're all subscribed to the same mentality, the same mission, and the same agenda. I'm not saying at all that I agree with that agenda. I'm not saying that I think it's even a good thing. What I'm saying is that it's happening whether we like it or not. And so for me, it's about trying to educate myself as best I can on what's coming so that I have more of an idea as to what to expect and how to navigate things directly from the horse's mouths, not from some quack wackadoo who, publishes some tinfoil hat blog on the interwebs trying to get views and, you know, buy his next batch of prepper food. I'm not, I see through a lot of this stuff and on both sides. And I would do content. I would have a channel specifically focused around a lot of this kind of stuff and my thoughts on these things. But well, I feel like you say one wrong thing. I mean, and it's just like boom, you're getting censored out of here, and it's like you're gonna have problems with the algorithms. Every time I talk about any of this stuff, I get a little concerned because I'm like, man, did I Oh, and I would love to be able to speak openly and share all of my deep, crazy thoughts on a regular basis. Because while a lot of you guys out there, you're like, oh, Crow, I love your content. I love the way you think. I love the way you do this and you demonstrate that and you show this, that, and another thing. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But there's a hell of a lot more to me and my train of thought than just what I see in the numbers in the crypto space. There's so much more going on right now. And I believe that the smoke and mirrors is only going to continue growing as this all begins continues really to heat up on a global scale. And quite frankly, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that they don't want to hear the truth. I don't even think they could really handle the truth because I think that there are so many millions and millions of people that are subscribed to a certain ideology, and once they realize what's actually going on and how their belief and their support of that ideology is being used against them, I think they would truly, truly melt. There would be no more snowflakes. And and I jokingly use the term snowflakes because it's basically what I call anybody that gets triggered just off of the silliest stuff. Because I look at it as like the slightest amount of friction makes them melt. And so all right, so I think I said my piece. I don't know if how clear I was, but let's scroll down and see how many of you guys are telling me I'm nuts. And I'm always afraid of sharing a lot of that stuff because I'm not crazy. I'm definitely not crazy. I think I have a different way of looking at things than a lot of people do. I have my own independent train of thought. So all right, value and consumption. Uh, Oracle Charlie 3 thoughts. I've actually begun working on that. I'm starting to do some, but they're resetting a lot of stuff. And so I haven't been able to pull a lot of information. So I've had to put that on the back burner until I've gone into some of the other things. Tad insult, Orbis did an NFT sale a few days ago. Wow. It's disgusting. Um, Man, my throat's really starting to hurt. I hope I don't have strep or something. Yeah, dude, love your thoughts on the reset. Well, that's good. Definitely interested on your thoughts on a great reset. Well, I am working on a big video. At least I think it'll be big. And hopefully it will put things into perspective for everybody. Because people are like, why do you keep calling lower bottoms, Crow? Why well, everyone is saying it's the bottom. The bottom is in. We're going up. Well, so far I've been right, haven't I? People are calling a bottom at 17.5, and I'm like, they're crazy. You're crazy if you think 17.5 is the bottom. And lo and behold, we've gone all the way back down to 15.4. And I don't think that's the bottom either. And I'm looking at a logarithmic. You know what? I'll just show you. I'll just show you this chart real quick so that you can see. I'm gonna have to stop the share. This is we're still under an hour. I feel like I've been talking for 2 weeks. All right, let's see. Here's my chart. All right. So, I mean, we're looking at this rainbow logarithmic chart. I've been playing around. There was one with just 4 colors, and for whatever reason, I've only found this one. I mean, we are so far below. I mean, look at this. Back here, what was this? 2020? We dipped below, and then 2021 we peaked. We had a second peak. Yeah, April we had the first peak. It's weird how the first peak is showing higher price than this one, but this is on a logarithmic chart. Second peak was actually a higher price. Oh, yeah, it was higher price. We were just moving. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. And now we're much lower. I mean, the price action here is much lower. It's so far out of this band. And it's one of the first times we've seen it. I mean, well, 2020, we saw that. What else was going on in 2020? There's a lot of stuff happening in the world in 2020 and a lot of things starting to happen. And if you want my honest to God belief, I think the price probably should have been somewhere around here without these two peaks. If the crypto market would have been left alone, I think that these two that we would have peaked out somewhere out around here, somewhere around the $115,000-$120,000 mark. I believe that the institutional traders and the powers that be manipulated this market into a two-peak system. And I also believe that, obviously, as I've shown a million times, and I know I've said it a million times, where I found a correlation between the NASDAQ market and Bitcoin's price action. And that's how I called a two-peak market in April, because I saw that back then. And I think that a lot of manipulation to different degrees from the institutions have been playing a big role, because they want to make sure that all their investment vehicles, and I'll get into this stuff in another video, but there's a lot of stuff at play here, which is why I believe this is likely going to be the last bear bottom we see. And I still am expecting to see somewhere around 9,600 or thereabouts, 9,600 to 10 grand. And then I think that's probably going to be the last. I think that's going to be the last bear market bottom we see for probably a decade, maybe even until 2030, 2035, something like that. Because I think that a big part of the Great Reset is a reset of the entire economic structure that we know right now. That's what I think the Great Reset is all about. I think it's resetting the global economy so that we're all in line with one another, so that we can adopt a global currency. And whether we like it or not, it's happening. Sorry, don't hate the messenger. It's just what I think is actually happening. And I think it's all happening right now. And I think ultimately it is here's the one thing that I've noticed. While we love to be divided through politics, right? And politicians love to keep us divided on trigger points like abortion or guns rights or whatever. They know exactly what buttons to push to activate, enrage, or silence either side of that fence. Independents are always discarded because independents always drop out. And at that point, it's a matter of where do those votes go? Now the question is, how much do votes even really matter? We've seen time and again, the left is calling this election rigged. The right is calling that election rigged. The security of elections are obviously an issue. Whether some people want to believe that or not, it is. You're a fool at this point if you think otherwise. The fact that we use the same voting machines that other countries that we have installed a democracy into, but have these, like, let's just say, very shady elections, to say the least. And we're using the same software, the same systems, and it's just my opinion. I don't know. But I think that ultimately, let's just put it this way. I believe that the divide in politics, well, obviously it's by design, but I think to some extent, man, I don't even know if I should say this. I have said in the past how I believe that ultimately, I think that we are already in some form of technocracy. And I think at some point we're going to get to a place where both sides, right or left, are begging for a new system because we have no faith in the system as it stands today. And I think right now you've got more people on the right believing that. and asking for that, saying, we don't trust the system, we don't trust the way, like all this mail-in ballot garbage. Ask anybody in any other country in the world what they think of mail-in ballots, and either A, they're not gonna have a clue what you're talking about because they've never had that, or B, they're gonna laugh at the idea that it's even a thing anywhere because it's so insecure. So that in itself is a joke, in my opinion. But we're using them, and they love to show up in truckloads in the middle of the night and take days and days and days to count. I mean, I is that a coincidence? Maybe it is. I don't know, but I don't personally like it. I don't think that that's the way any of this stuff should be going down. I think any election should be concluded at the end. Yeah, anytime I see the black screen, I know you guys you can't hear me. Yeah, I've been rugged by a lot of projects. It's my own fault. I jumped in a lot of projects and lost a lot of ADA. Yeah, man, you just hold your ADA and stake it. That's all you got to do right now. There's no reason. I mean, with Cardano being as low as it is, there's no reason. I don't feel like I got to go throw a bunch of money at every new project out there just because it's on Cardano. I think that's nonsensical. There's no point. I can just buy Cardano at these lows, wait for a top, and I'm going to do just fine on my own without having to take a bunch of unnecessary risks. Um, so, as I was saying, I mean, I'm going to be getting into a lot of this stuff. But, you know, yeah, long time listener, first time caller. Yeah, I do think that would be kind of fun. I don't know. Don't do it, man. Trouble. I'm not sure what you're talking about, capitalist. I'm not sure what you're referring to. C3 will eventually fade away as Cardano has a strategic partnership with Chainlink. Fun to say at work. I talked to Crow. Yeah, why not? I think it'd be cool, and I know a lot of people would have fun with it. Can you imagine getting a call from someone trying to tell you your future? I mean, I get a lot of messages from people of all walks of life, man, sharing their thoughts and their opinions, their health tips, and all kinds of stuff, man. And some of you guys are really interesting folks. So can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Great Reset. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it'll be ready by tomorrow because there's a lot involved, but we'll see. Living in Barcelona, let's do it early morning voice with late night voice, Ben and Cardano. Late night voice, or like a really good food commercial voice. What's a really good? Ooh, we have the meats. Is that what you're talking about? Hey, Crow, do you think Bitcoin bottomed? Man, you are late. No, no, it hasn't bottomed yet. Not in my opinion. Could have, but I doubt it. Art Bell was great, man. I loved Art Bell. I like George Nori. I like Ian Ponnet. I like everybody on Coast to Coast. I haven't listened in a while, but I still have a membership. Cardano since 2019. Use the Telegram for support quick. Liquid and Ardana are rugged. Get out now. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about. Okay, I'll check it out. How many of you guys have set up SoBlocks accounts yet? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Long time listener, first time caller. Hey Crow, it's been a journey, brother. Yes, it has. Late night on blast. Why not? This mother effers from UK keep rugging Cardano projects. Interesting. What I miss? What's up, Trevor? Yeah, I don't know. I guess what you miss is relative to your own. I don't know. Let me check my phone, make sure everything's cool. Yeah. So, yeah, there's so much to it. And I did go on a little bit of a light ramble for the night. It's almost 1 a.m. and I still have more work to do. So I am working on this video for you guys. So hopefully you guys appreciate it and you like it and you post your comments and all that fun stuff. And yeah, one of these nights I probably will try like a late night call in. I already have it set up. I mean, I could do it right now if I wanted to, but it's late. So I already have credits on this system that, I have a number that I can use and all that. So maybe one of these nights I'll go live late night about a topic and we'll just see who calls in and see if it's fun. If we have a good time, I'll do it maybe once a week or something. But I'd have to do that on a schedule. I think it's the kind of thing you need to do every week or every night. And you know, if it grows and it gets really, really popular, because I don't think there's any other YouTuber out there that's doing that, because you don't have to. You've got chat and stuff. Everybody uses what they have. But I like the old fashioned kind of, you know, you just kind of hang out, make a drink, talk, get crazy. But I don't know how much, you know, I think a part of the question there is, if somebody comes on and they call in and they say a bunch of crazy stuff, does YouTube like punish you? Like, how does that work? I don't know. I think that's the big problem with, you know, and having to screen calls and things like that. That would probably be an issue. You don't want a bunch of loop de loops coming on here just spouting all kinds of nonsense. Um, been here from the start. Should have listened to you when ADA was 2 cents. Ooh, well, you know, it's never too late. I'll co-host a call-in on all things current and conspiracy. I legitimately do need to find somebody to help me book guests if I'm going to do something like that. I need somebody to just go through like the coast to coast AM guest list and just start reaching out and be like, hey, you know, there's this dude. He's like an old ogre on YouTube. He's been around for a long time. Wants to do this channel. Love to have you. So you know, I'd pay somebody who's able to start setting that stuff up for sure. That's why I'm asking for Crow thoughts on Charlie 3. Yeah, I was starting to dive into Charlie 3, but I there's a lot of stuff is happening on there. So I was gonna let a lot of that kind of work itself through. Yo, Crow, glad to see you back on YouTube again. Your old school material was fire. Well, thank you. I'm working on a comeback. I really am. I'm working on it. I've been here almost every day now for going on 2 weeks. I was definitely you know, yeah. What do you take daily, Crow? Um I mean, I take vitamin D and I just got 2 shots in my belly today. I just started that semaglutide, which is helping me lose weight. I'm not eating nearly as much so far, no side effects. I take I mean, you know, I take my blood pressure pills. I mean, I take different stuff. But I've definitely been feeling like a pincushion lately. Market usually pumps for Black Fridays, though. Well, I mean, maybe we've already seen that pump, or we're getting a fake out. I mean, we might get to 18, 19,000. We might even touch 20,000 before we go down into a new low of like 14 something. So I'm not getting my hopes up. I mean, if I see 22,000, I'm like, all right, maybe this fake out is not a fake out, but I don't think we're going to see 22,000 bucks anytime soon. And it's more likely than not that like I'm looking at the CME, it's going a little sideways after a bit of a dip. What is that? Oh, that's a weak chart. So let's go to a 4 hour on that. Yeah, I mean, we've been more or less sideways within a bit of a channel here on the CME futures, SPX. Well, I don't want to mess that up because it's what I'm working on for another video. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, listen, I love you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here hanging out. I know there's a lot of comments. Man, there's a lot of comments I haven't even been able to see. It would take me a month to go through a lot of these folks. But I will be reading them. Sometimes when I go back and I watch a video, I always go through all of the comments below a video. So once everything publishes, I go and I check out every comment there and I try to give a like to every one of them. But yeah, my throat is starting to really hurt. So listen, thanks for joining me. Hopefully we didn't get too crazy and everything I said makes sense. I will definitely be clarifying some things, but it's gonna be a bit of a job. You know, I mean, I'm not giving advice, but you know, I'm never in a hurry to jump into brand new projects on Cardano or anything. I did all that in 2017 and in 2018. I got into a bunch of projects and I saw how a lot of them worked out. And to me, it's just not worth it. So, you know, I'm all about layer ones and I'm all about layer twos and side chains and things like that that have actually proven themselves first. I'll make my money on the layer one as it continues through the cycles, and the layer twos and anything that's being built on my favorite layer one, well, I'm going to assume you're a shit show until you've proven otherwise. And honestly, for me, If you haven't withstood at least one bear market and come out swinging, I don't really give a shit about you, if I'm honest. There's stuff that I'm into for fun, things that I think are good and that are going to be a good time, and that's cool. I'm not investing in those projects necessarily because I think that they're going to take over the world. I just think, you know what, I'm going to have some fun with them, and that's pretty much it. So until next time, guys, crow your coins. Thanks for joining me tonight, and maybe we'll do this on a little more of a regular basis. We'll see how the after views and the after engagement goes on this long-winded video, and I'll see you guys soon.